Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Cities Skylines. On the last episode, we became a booming town, setting up our first specialized industry and almost doubling in size for residential zoning. We've added the town cemetery, developed a new centralized commercial district based around the local high school, linked some of our roads with new pathways, and continued to improve the traffic infrastructure. Now, I had a few things that I wanted to clean up from the previous episode based on some of the feedback that you guys gave, and I needed to wait for a little bit more money to come in anyway, so I've got a quick time-lapse of some of those changes. Let's begin. So the first thing I wanted to do was add some pavement in behind the new residential zones and just kind of connect up the different cul-de-sacs. So created cul-de-sacs, which creates a little problem. It means that people have to go a very long way to walk along the sidewalks to get out, so you have to create paving in order to create those little shortcuts to link the different cul-de-sacs and estates together and ultimately link them to the commercial zones and to where they're trying to get to go to work and things like that. So it's kind of a fun little problem to solve. Leaving a little bit of gaps behind the houses for zoning improves that, so I just upgraded that road, the main arterial road there, the four-lane road, to remove its zones, and that way we have this nice area to clear out the paving, and also lots of room for future houses to be put in between them. Then I was just adjusting some of the previous paving I put down a little hastily in the previous episode, so just trying to create more natural-looking bends and things like that. I also added a couple of trees either sides to them just to also spruce it up a little bit. And then I've just followed different routes to make sure everybody can get out where they need to go okay. I then added back in the basketball court that got deleted during the previous episode. I think I moved it out of like the zoning area, so it ended up just getting reset and deleted. So I kind of recorrected the high school's shape, put in a little paving, a crosswalk between it so people can just get from one side to the other without having to go around the whole place. Tried to blend it as best as I could, although the paving blending doesn't quite line up with the actual paving itself. It's a thing I'll talk about later in the episode. And yeah, that was pretty much it for that area. Now we're over at the farms, and I'm trying to find a solution to the problem that people were pointing out in the previous episode by saying that, hey, people who are coming into your city from the highway, like into it, so coming from the west to the east, as we're looking at the screen right now, they can't get to the farm. And it was something I'd kind of thought about, but I just felt like I didn't have the space. And again, we'll talk about it a little later in the episode as well, because I'm right on the border for this tile. So I decided to go with the almighty Roundabout. And you can see that I'm sort of just learning and figuring out why this works or why it doesn't. I have a highway coming straight into the roundabout and then straight out with other lanes coming in. And it's really messy, but I was just also playing around with the tools, seeing what could and couldn't work. Like, this does technically work. It's just, it'd be insanity to have the highway that just goes mainline into a roundabout, I think. So I decided here to create like the little offshoot streets. So I used the highway ramp. We had just unlocked that actually at the end of the previous episode by becoming a boomtown. So using the highway ramp allows us to have pretty good speed straight onto the roundabout and then go up to the farming area. Now, once the episode actually gets going, I'll actually be redoing this even further, just slightly. I'll be adding a couple extra roads to it. And I'm really happy with the results, you know, by the end of the episode. So don't go crazy commenting on it just yet. Just wait until a little bit later to see what I've done. And then you can let me know what I've done wrong. Alright, and then the final thing was a few people pointed out, like, when I put in that playground, that it was right next to the 4-lane road. And people were like, oh, putting a playground right next to a busy road isn't really a good idea for the kids. So I went with the park fence that you have from the Park Life DLC. And decided just to, yeah, just kind of cordon off the area just to make sure no wandering, you know, they kick their ball beyond the woods, they start running after it, they don't know what's going on, suddenly, bam, they're dead. And there's no one coming to help because the healthcare clinic is way over on the other side of the city. Sorry, such a dark image of what could have happened. But no, obviously just creating a little park fence here just makes the place look a little bit more lived in. And when I was playing around with the props, I decided to add a few more trees to sort of create that noise pollution boundary between the road and the park and kind of absorb some of the visual nastiness of that road, just to kind of, you know, don't want to be just watching a road all the time, make it look more like a park. And then also putting in some seating. I found some like hot dog van and an ice cream van, so putting in some food trucks as well, some picnic tables, things like that, just to make the area look a bit bigger. I didn't want to spend too long on it, so I was just really playing around with props kind of for the first time. I haven't unlocked all the props yet by a long shot, so there's not really that much I can really do with it yet, but there's a few nice things to put in there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Boomtown of Swords. So a couple weeks have passed while that time-lapse was running, and also I left it just a little bit of time so we could build up a bit more of a healthy balance, and also just check on a few different things: traffic, services, budgets, the boring stuff. But a few people have asked in the comments, actually, could you maybe just slow down a bit? You know, maybe follow the odd vehicle every now and then and see where they're going about their daily lives. So I'd like to do that now in future, just going forward a little bit more, because I was really rushing to get through the first few milestones just so we could unlock all our services. And now we have more services than I have money to use. We can kind of slow down a bit more while we're building up that bank balance, check on how things are going. How do people get to the high school? Are they using the appropriate pathways? How are the police getting around? Is there enough of them? Are people using our facilities? That kind of thing. So while we're all doing that, there's also a couple of things I wanted to note, or a couple of things I noticed as well. Population's at about 300-400. We've really maxed out this residential district now that time has played. Pretty much everyone has moved into what I have zoned. And we have a demand for more industry and a demand for more residences, which is great. But what's not so great about it is we have an unemployment rate of 15%. And we have an aging population over here. More and more houses are becoming senior. And unemployment's going to suffer because of that unless we continuously expand for a while. And obviously we could just put down more factories in this new industrial estate that I was kind of carving out here. A few people said that maybe it's a little too close to the residences, but I don't think so. I mean, pollution seems, you know, it's going to stay on this side of the road between the highway and the kind of arterial 4-lane road here. So I think that's relatively okay. So we'll manage that anyway. Now, instead of just zoning a bunch of industry, growing it super fast, what we really want to do is do it a little bit smarter if we can, and grow our specialized industry, because it will make us more money in the long run if we can manage that. Now, we've already produced nearly 1,000 resources. We just need 2 more workers in order to hit the next milestone for it. So that should be super easy. We just have to put down a couple extra buildings. But before we do, I want to adjust this roundabout. So you've obviously just watched me fiddling around with this area so that we could get the traffic flowing the right way. But it still just looks a bit off, so I want to kind of play around with it just a little bit more to get this road not to be a 2-lane that just leads in. It should really kind of split up and have its own lanes go into different sides of it as it more naturally curls in and out, you know? So that's what we're going to do. So I'll just do that now really quickly. Alright, so I was actually doing that for much longer than I thought. I'd initially just planned to do it for these roads, but I've ended up doing it for multiple. In fact, we could do it for one last one here, I think. Let's just upgrade that one too. So let's just check on the speeds of all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of symbols here. I'll talk through some of them. We'll get up to 80 as we get to 100, so I want them to kind of speed up as they get onto this bit. But yeah, rather interestingly, at least I think, well, 2 things. I've been messing around with the road markings. I actually don't drive. Could you tell? But I don't drive, but I'm actually planning on learning to drive in the next couple of weeks. I'm getting pretty close to just getting my provisional, and then I can finally start learning properly. But anyway, so I was just using some road markings there that I tend to see roughly around me, but I haven't got full grasp of necessarily how to paint them or how to do them. I feel like here, where the dotted line separates, the kind of triangle area should split out, but then I don't really know what happens here. It kind of like just blends back into the edge of the road, doesn't it? I'll have to maybe look at some reference material or something to see if I can get that a bit better. But what's cool is it means I can have the dotted line go all the way around. And looking at some roundabouts, it seems like that's usually the way they do it, like the continuous line around the roundabout. And then sometimes you'll have like a dotted line here to kind of show you that you're supposed to kind of stop, or even a solid line, things like that. But anyway, yeah, it's quite a messy roundabout. It's purely because I'm at the edge of the border here. I can't affect what's going on out here unless I buy that tile, and I don't want to buy it yet. So because of that, it just seems like a roundabout's the best solution to sorting out the issue that people were pointing out, which was you couldn't come from what was it, this way into the town and into the farm. You could only get into the town, sorry, yeah, you couldn't get into the farm. And there just wasn't enough space to really, at least for me, to figure out a better way to do that. I needed to come back a bit further. So hopefully everything should be fine and dandy and working just fine now. So let's continue. So we've built up 53,000. We need just a little bit more jobs so that this industry can actually level up. So we're literally lacking 2. So got an idea. It's going to maybe set us back a little bit though. I suppose moving is probably better than deleting. But what I'm going to do is delete this road. And we'll move these in just a second. People were saying, by the way, use dirt roads. I keep getting that comment. Use dirt roads to pre-plan things. I really should. I just don't like the look of them, so I tend not to use them. But you're right. Last episode I was struggling for money, so I definitely should have. It's going to be pretty grid-like. It is a state agricultural industry, I suppose. So it is what it is. Now we'll click to actually move this and slam it in. Alright, there we go. Admittedly, that was a lot more hassle than I even thought it was. I got the spacing wrong again, but it's okay. It's not too bad. And we can put a fence in along this side if we really want to make it look a little bit nicer. So now we have a kind of a blended farm. Looks a bit better, I think. And we have our 4 pastures up here. So what we're going to do now is actually just put down a bunch more crop fields and kind of keep these evenly spaced. Because our natural resources are really, really great here. Like, just super all the way down. So it's going to be very grid-like, but it is like a big state farm, effectively. So I think it's, you know, reasonable that it would be like this. So we'll go back to agricultural sector, select our farm again, and start building it up. So it always snaps to the bottom. Can't really do anything about that. And then we can move it. Alright, and just spam this. And then we'll put in one more pasture. I want to have way more crops than I do anything else, just at the beginning here. I'll just select this all to be wheat. We're just going to do big wheat expansion. And we'll leave these guys as cows. Alright, cool. So let's just send the water all the way down this way. Guess we'll bring it up this way, and maybe we can remove that. And that makes a bit more sense for the water now. Alright, nice. So our industry is growing, hopefully. So if those guys take some jobs pretty quickly, we will hit the next milestone. There we go. We just did it. So we just unlocked a flour mill, a bakery, a farm, workers' barracks, and a cattle shed and small barn. So let's get building. So let's have a look. Farm workers' barracks. That gives us an increase to efficiency. This is what I wanted most, though. A flour mill. Flour mill is a processing building which require crops to produce special goods. Flour. Flour mills grind crops into flour and package it for transportation. Processing buildings need to be placed inside the industrial area. There's 45 workplaces in this one, so there's a few more people are going to be working for us. 15,000 though straight away, so it's expensive. And we'll have to extend. Just got an idea as well, actually. Don't know if I can fit. So we've now got a cattle shed, right? So cattle shed, upkeep 80 a week, cost 6,000. Now, unlike the pastures, a cattle shed takes electricity, 240 kilowatts. Pastures do the same thing, albeit less volume, but they don't take any electricity. And the same with regular farms. So maybe we'll wait until we get a bit more money coming in before we do those. But what I could do maybe earlier on is do a farm workers barracks. And it fits beautifully right there. And then what we'll do is we'll grab this, the small grain silo, put it either side. That could look kind of nice. So what I'm going to do now is just let this build up for a little bit and save some money so that we can build 2 cattle sheds. So we're going to need 12,000. Alright, it won't be too long before we get 12,000. Just make sure that is extended. Cool. And then we'll see how many people take these jobs. So what kind of work do they need? 20 uneducated, 15 educated. 3 out of 7 well-educated. Interesting. Some well-educated people took the jobs already. Why isn't the local government doing anything to stop the fires? Uh-oh. That's a good question. I don't see any fires. Looks all good to me. I sound like such a politician. I don't see any fires. Do you see any fires? I don't see any smoke. Right, so that'll get the ball rolling. Money's really good, but it's probably just coming up a bit because of the agricultural farm. So what we can do now as well is maybe build out this industrial area a little bit more. and zone it appropriately. So we'll go with an industrial road. I want it to link onto the highway. I think that'd be nice, right? So if this linked onto the highway, they could just take it straight out, thus not needing to use this roundabout at all. And this roundabout, I think, seems to be doing fine. I've noticed, and I'm not too sure why, that people tend to stop here. I've also noticed that there's a... in the TMPE, if you select the road rules, so I think... Is it this? Priority signs? Yes. Okay, I got it. So if you select adjusting roads, TMPE comes up, and it says, applies traffic rules for a roundabout. Boom. So what that does is it automatically puts down the yield and warning signs to give way for the roundabout. Now, I'm a bit puzzled by it. Like I said, I don't drive. But I thought that you would need signs here. And there's no signs here. I thought here you'd have to say, like, yield, right? But it's doing it up ahead. So, I don't know. I'll trust that it knows what it's doing. You'll notice that I made one adjustment as well. I don't know how it's really going to play out. But it was this one. So, lane connector. So, using the... Let me just hide this. Using the lane connector, I just made sure that this lane connects to this one and this goes in and around. And I did the same for over here. Because what I was noticing is they were trying to cross like last minute and keep going around and stuff. And it just seemed a little awkward. And that definitely seemed to improve the flow. But the one adverse effect is I've noticed cars stopping here. And I can't really work why. Even that one seemed to pull over to the left a little bit. So not too sure what's going on with that. Alright, it's just coming up to nighttime. So I'm speeding up time. So just during the night. Yeah, you can see they actually drove over the sidewalk. If we just slow down and watch this vehicle. Oh yeah, that's not good. Something's happening here. I'll have to look into it and see, you know, maybe what's going on. I thought maybe, oh, is there another node too close together? But I don't know. Not really. Kind of, but not really. It's not another node. It's just the same one. And they were here going that way. I feel like... Maybe it's my lane connector actually messing things up. But it was doing that beforehand. Anyway, I don't know. You can let me know. I'm still learning. Alright. Either way, though, things are looking good. Let's keep time moving. We'll have to plan out this expansion now. So we're going to use an industrial road. I have a pretty fairly grid-looking area, I think, for this. And we'll just come in off of the 4-lane arterial. So bring it all the way right down to the edge, I guess. Straight across. And if I have this somewhere about here, I can probably link it up. Yeah, I'm just going to have to get rid of this immediately. I feel bad for all the businesses. Sorry, guys. The economy's going to collapse without them. But this way I can actually join on from here and come straight down. So it comes at a weird angle, actually. So you have to go out like this and then hook back up. Trying to gauge the angle. So that's our little industrial park. Lots of room for industry, big industry. Should we need it in the future. Now what I'm just going to do really quickly as well, use our picker tool, grab this, turn off the zoning, because it's interrupting where I want things, and then just upgrade it so we get rid of that zoning either side. Now in doing that, I think we have to refresh the speed limits. So the speed limit should be 80. Alright, all good. So there we go. New area that can be zoned for factories. So people, the unemployment crisis is what we're trying to solve today. Now, getting rid of that area, actually, has probably meant more people are going to take the jobs at Crown Farms for a little while. But even so, let's just begin painting out like this. I'm just getting the ball rolling with these guys. First little district there. Then what we need to do is maybe somewhere down here, get a road to link on, or actually I guess even there, but it's a bit too close, isn't it? Although maybe not. Let's try it. Let's see if we can shape it into something that looks good. So there's an on-ramp that leads straight out. I think that's okay. Use the node controller. We can slow time back down now again. Just to shape it a bit better. Yeah. So you have a nice little way out. So all the industry... it has to come in here, goes around the roundabout, goes up, goes down, gets fed into this place. Maybe that's a bit strange, I don't know. You could bypass the roundabout completely if you went under and over or something, or over. Something like that. But that should be fine. The roundabout should be pretty smooth to get into here. It's a 4-lane road and everything as well, so I'm happy with it. We'll see how it plays out traffic-wise. So, just connect you guys up. And we'll keep an eye now on the unemployment status. So we're at 25% now since we got rid of those factories. We still have the factories on the other side of town that I'm hoping to get rid of, actually, and move them. In fact, let's move one lane of them already. So we can take a big hit to the economy while we're waiting all these new factories to kind of move in. But remember, they give a lot of jobs. Oh yeah, we need to do water as well, actually. So let's just continue zoning a little further here. I'll use the square tool, actually. Alright, so let them do their thing. Let's get water properly fed through this place. Alright, so grab our pipe. We'll just follow this road a bit. To about there and then come down. So that should do a pretty good job of feeding most people. We could go along here as well, just in case. And that's fine as well. Alright. So now that they have water and power, we should see industry flourishing in this little area, and we'll see how the traffic handles that. But it's close to the highway, it's next to a roundabout. They have pretty good flexibility, I think, of what they want to do. Oh yeah, sorry, I cut off my water here. Whoops. Nice. So, in looking at the pollution map, I noticed the rivers are running brown, as we expected. Especially now that there's so much more people in here, it's really starting to make its way down into the estuary out to the bay. So what I'm probably going to do is we will expand. This is going to be the next purchasable area. It's 5,600. And we have access to the coast up this way. Next one will probably be this one, so we have more access to this bay. This bay is going to be reserved for oil, which is why I don't really want to get it immediately. And obviously this is tons of space that it's more than we need. But what we could do is start working on something like this. So this is an eco water outlet that we just unlocked, the green alternative. Well, the eco water outlet is quite expensive. It helps purify the water that's let out of it. Pollution is reduced, but not wholly gone. The outlet lets out polluted water from the sewage system, needs a water pump to supply the system with water, etc. So it requires electricity. So it's 480 kilowatts. Now if you have a look at this one's only 240. So it's twice as much kilowatts demand, but it's half the draining capacity. So it's really not that good. But at least we won't be polluting nearly as much. So upkeep 320 a week, this upkeep is 480. So it's more expensive to upkeep, it's more expensive electricity-wise, and its drain capacity is less. So we need two of them to do the same job that this one was doing. Now another thing is, we're also just low on power. So we're going to put in move that power plant that was over here. And I was hoping to pop it into the area over this way, although it's just, I guess we'll have to wait to do that. We'll just put a new one in here. Oh man, don't even have the money for that. Alright, it's loan time again. Another 20,000, please. So let's get that power up and running in our little industrial estate, because they do have to deliver coal to this thing, so it actually makes sense why you'd have to do this. Not very frequently, but at least it'd be there. Alright. So there's our power plants. Arguably, maybe it should have been over here. Whatever, doesn't matter. For now, anyway, it's totally fine. Be nice to put some sort of fencing along this area, too. To break up the sort of business park. Another thing we could do is maybe just fill in the gaps here. Don't have to, but it kind of makes sense to. We could put props and things in there later. You also unlock props as you gain milestones, so I don't really have full access to all the creative tools that I'd like yet, so I don't really want to go down and get into the real nitty-gritty with certain things just yet. Alright, we'll speed up to ×2. Things are looking good. Population stable, 3,400. Let's check in on our industry over here. Alright, crops are building up, being made into flour. Are we importing anything? Right now, it doesn't seem like it, but we are in the negative. Our upkeep is 623. 150 people work here almost. So that's pretty good. Almost all the uneducated jobs are filled. Some of the educated, and 40 well-educated. Wow, surprised about that. It's strange. I'm not really too sure. How can I, like, get my population to sort of balance out in the educated? Oh, I guess actually it is doing it. We're at 18% educated, 74% uneducated. So we have a high school, elementary school there and an elementary school there. High school is in the center. Eligible 539, capacity 1,000. Yeah, I mean, we're meeting the school demand. But obviously it does take time to graduate. So we're seeing here, the red bars means that they haven't graduated, and any houses that are like blue and such have. And there's the efficiency. So I suppose anyone that's in like immediate connection to this area have a higher chance, I guess, of graduating. I think that's kind of how it works. Because you will see that these people do go to the school, but they're so far away, maybe that they, quote, the efficiency of the school is less, right? So maybe they don't graduate. Don't really have the budget to be putting down more schools anyway. And I think they're in good spots. So we've no university left. I assume highly educated is what you need to have a university. I assume well-educated. So uneducated, no elementary school, right? Educated, high school. Well-educated, perhaps university. Highly educated, maybe university and something like public library. Possibly. You'll have to let me know what you think. Sophie Green, an educated team. Oh yeah, well that's the other thing. With the realistic population, it's going to take these guys longer to come of age and become a working adult that is educated. I wonder, does that population demographic... 25%, 27% children, 15% teen. So between young adults and adults, we're at about 40% of our population are available to the workforce. Interesting. 9% unemployment. We are solving it. Obviously with that new industrial area, they're all going to be working out here. So where are you going, for instance? Importing oil products to a box factory. It's just literally just called box factory. What does it say outside? Steel Rhino. Let's name it. Oh my god, I can't spell. Steel Rhino Ltd. I wonder what do you think they do in there? Steel Rhino. Make steel, I guess? There's a giant chimney stack, so maybe it is a sort of a furnace place. Smeltery. Another one here, Steel Rhino again. Ice cubes they make. Box factory, ice cube factory. Maybe I should get a naming mod that has a bit more creative names, because you do see like the same things everywhere. Even if the buildings look different. It's like, oh, ice cube factory, box factory, Frank's Fish and Sticks. Those are like the most common things. There's a little dude just standing here. Can I select him? It looked like I could for a second. Oh, can't quite get to him. Oh, he's living his best life in there. Alright, let's follow some journeys. I'm genuinely curious to see how they get in and out of the, what's it called? The agricultural area. So where are you going? You going home? So, sorry, yeah, Charles Blackwell, the Cooper residence, small animal pastures where he's an attendant. So he does work at the farms and he's going home. So we're triple speeding it while he's going along here. Normal speed, this is his driving speed, so pretty good. We'll see how he handles the roundabout that's coming up and see how he gets to his Cooper residence. I'll have to rename it when he gets there. Call it the Blackwell residence. I'm very curious to see if he's going to do anything like totally unexpected here. But it should just be pretty straightforward. It's just a roundabout. Alright, stay in your lane. Okay, all good so far. Kind of slowed there a bit. Hit the path a little bit there, but other than that, he's okay. Where's he going? He's still staying in the left lane. That's okay. He's crossed the lane now. He's going to take a right and go into one of the estates. Uneducated adult, the Cooper residence. Oh, not that bad. Not that far in. Reasonable commute, I would say. I hope nobody starts taking this industrial road and trying to get out onto the highway. I don't really want them doing that. In fact, we could prevent them doing that. Not that I've seen anyone really do it. Trucks are seemingly the ones that are going to be doing it the most, which is totally fine. But you can put car restrictions on these roads. Is it this one? Automatic vehicle despawning, clear some traffic. No, don't want to do that. Vehicle restrictions. There we go. So yeah, you could set this and say like no regular pedestrian cars, but anything else can make use of it. Taxis and such. Look at this guy. Well, that's actually okay. He is an industrial vehicle technically. So yeah, you could do that, and that way they'll never go onto this road. You could just gate the entrance effectively. Although, just thinking about it, then people can't get to work. Huh, that's funny. So what we could do, I suppose, actually is, let's knock those off. Sorry. I'm just thinking out loud here. But we could just prevent the highway access as a pedestrian car, so they aren't going to go that way. So yeah, that would make more sense. So it's just this road that we say, no regular pedestrian cars, take that one. Everywhere else is fine. So pedestrians can come in here, because this is where they work. It'd be a bit unfair for not to let them do that. But pedestrian cars should not be taking the industrial road out to the highway, really, or the industrial estate out to the highway. If you're a pedestrian, you work somewhere else, and you want to get out there, you should take your private car. I should stop saying pedestrian, but your private car you should take out this way. But let's have a look at our traffic map, actually. How we doing? 82%. Not seeing any real issues. This is a busy commercial district, as expected, but nothing's backstopped, so we're totally fine. Need for industry is pretty much gone, so this has totally solved that area. Let's decommission this one. And we can do more residential over this way, near, in from the landfill, I guess, but just more in using that old space. So what they'll do is the extra people who need jobs should take this place. Not enough workers, so there's room for 29 uneducated workers. So we just cleared a whole factory. Not enough fuel for the coal power plant. So another thing I'd like to check is outside connections. So what are we importing? Well, we can see. Here's our industrial estate. We're importing oil, forestry, even agricultural products. Now, agricultural products, we should be supplying that ourselves. It's not good to see that. Exporting, we're exporting agricultural products. So ideally, once things stabilize for a while, they'll realize that you can actually supply this yourself. At least importing-wise, it doesn't seem like we're doing any importing up here, which is important. Oh, I failed to say. So yeah, this building here, the workers' barracks increased the work efficiency of the workers in the industrial area by 5%. It's only 5%. It's not much. I just think it's a nice-looking building, and we needed some of the workers anyway. So we've got 20,000 in the bank. Let's go with our first cattle shed. I'll just slam one down right here. And we can do the other one here, 6,000. Alright, so that was 12,000 total, and we're going to now go with a small barn. Another 6,000. Pop that in between. How good does that look? It's looking pretty nice. It's interesting, they're the same color. They're not always the same color, these buildings, if I recall correctly. So it's going to require a bunch more workers. Remember, we just freed up another big industrial area, so that's why I'm happy to put these down. Now, this is going to be set to balanced. It is just crops for now. We need a warehouse for agricultural products. These are going to be making agricultural products, and the economy is probably going to go into shock as it probably imports some of the goods that these places need at first. Which is why you can see these tractors driving in, unless they were taking them from here. Nope, they seem to be still pretty full. Oh, actually, no. It did come from here. That's good, that's good. I just don't want them to be imported. Alright, nice. So they can get to work straight away. And we can start to decommission these ones. Maybe this one can go at least. And we'll put in a few more crop farms. So remember, these only require one worker and just some water. That's it. And a tiny bit of upkeep. But they don't require any electricity or anything, and it just provides you crops. So we've got so much land here that obviously we want this to be just full of farms the whole way. And as we progress, we'll get bigger farms as well. My only limiting factor is just, money, really, for putting this stuff down. Now, because we have taken a loan, I'm not going to put any extra down just right now. We'll wait for money to come back up a bit. And it's getting dark, so we'll triple speed through the nighttime. Let's have a look at our services and check some of our infographics to see how things have been going. So, we haven't built any transport yet. I don't think we need to. I mean, it'd be good to get ahead of any issues, but we don't have any issues, really, that we need bus routes and stuff. But it would be good to get it, and it can actually earn you money if you do it right. Because people are obviously paying to get on the bus, and especially you could get some money out of those seniors, But we don't really have any places that they'd want to go other than just the commercial district. So you could have a bus route that maybe loops around this circle, and one that kind of loops around this area, and then they kind of connect to either the commerce area or the industrial area, so at least people can get to and from work by just getting the bus. Build a unique factory, the game is telling me. So, what could we get? A small barn. Well, that's not a unique factory. Sorry, it's in here, isn't it? So unique factories, and then there's storage. So we've unlocked a bakery. So bakery is going to take in some of the animal products, the crops, and the flour that we all have up and running for 20,000. Who wouldn't love the delicious smell of freshly baked donuts early in the morning? Bakery produces tasty Go Nuts donuts and takes care of the curves of your citizens. The bakery requires animal products, crops, and flour special goods to produce its tasty pastries. Unique factories can be placed outside of the industrial area. The question for me, though, is, does it have to go into a commercial area? No, right? You can put it anywhere. I'd probably put it in this industrial area. So a big, industrial bakery or something like right here. Yeah, because it actually produces noise and stuff. And then the products can be taken straight out into the commercial district. Sounds good to me. Or sold. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a unique bakery. Because we do produce everything they need locally. So production rate is 1920 units per week. 1,920 units per week. So I assume, I don't know, but I would just assume you need 1,920 units of everything to go in to make that. Or a third. One or the other, right? So 6, 12, 18, about 650 animal products, 650 crops, and 650 flour. So if we were to check the bakery, it makes 2,100. Or sorry, the flour mill. 2,100, so more than enough. Although it maybe not be at full efficiency if it's not, has everyone, not all the educated workers are in here. Yeah, I'll have to figure this stuff out. But either way, having fun. Keep saying we're losing money, though. So it did say we actually imported a little bit of crops that time. Alright, to new dawn, to new day. At least we've solved the unemployment crisis largely. We're down to 3%. How good is that? People want to move in now again. So let's let them. So let's get a fresh set of people coming in here. And maybe we can start to think about where they'll go up this way. I feel like this road might continue out this way and we'll have a new commercial district and stuff further out as we go. Money's good, coming up nicely. There is a forest fire raging, so this is actually interesting. I don't think I can deal with forest fires yet, no. We need 7,500 people. Otherwise you just have to let them burn. And if they catch fire to a house, then we'll see people mobilize. Now, let's have a look at things like other services. I meant to do this earlier, sorry. So, healthcare availability. We're totally fine, apparently, for healthcare, even though the healthcare clinic is kind of far from a lot of people out this way. So, we're seeing that the efficiency is getting quite low as you get out this way, and that the average health is probably dipping, as we can see. It's 64%, so a lot of people are in that mid-tier threshold out this way. It's not going to the doctor. Death care as well. Similar situation. It's over on one side of the town right now. Childcare. So yeah, I actually haven't really looked into childcare, what that does. I assume it just improves the education of your children. Public library. Not sure what the differences between a community school are. Allows children to get education and grow into educated adults. Well, isn't that just the same as an elementary school? Educate children. Yep. So let's just do find it. Because there is one called childcare. So we want to look for a ploppable building in the healthcare area. Oh, maybe I don't have it yet. Child Health Center. There we go. Ploppable healthcare 6x5. Child Health Center is a small healthcare facility. It increases birth rate within the building's radius and offers health services to children and teens, creating a health benefit. I wonder how that works with the mod I'm using. Increases birth rates. Ooh, wow, it's a big radius on this. Child Health Center. Yeah, you could have it somewhere. I want to build a more grid-like special district up here. Because we do have the elementary school right here. So maybe we could block out some of these houses and reserve it for services like another police station or something like that. 18,000 though. I'm not going to waste that money just now, but it would be nice to improve birth rates, I guess. This mod has, like, the realistic population mod has documentation on how all that stuff works, and they talk about industries and things too. Some people, by the way, just in terms of mods, just in case you're wondering, I largely want to keep that vanilla experience intact. Obviously, I've gone crazy with the population mod, but everything else is pretty much how the game would be normally, in terms of, obviously I have fine control of moving traffic and things like that, but other than that, you know, the gameplay progression, unlocking the milestones, the rates, the upkeep rates of different buildings, how you do budgets, all of that stuff is the way it is in the vanilla game. Because it's basically just a vanilla playthrough, but with a realistic slant towards the population, and then finer control / realistic control of where we can build road networks. So that was the idea for the playthrough. Some people are suggesting mods that, in my opinion, would break the balance completely. Like, I can't remember exactly the name of the mod, but they were saying, oh, there's like a road mod that you could get. That means you don't have to pay any maintenance, and you get more special kind of types of roads and stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't want a road mod that eliminates the cost of maintenance. That would be kind of like, in my opinion, not really getting the experience of the game properly. If you want to just do a creative build, and obviously there are a million series on YouTube where people are really, really talented that do just pure creation, that's awesome. But I do want to do a progression playthrough. You know, I'm doing a let's play of building up a little city, and I don't necessarily have genius architecture in mind for how everything is going to go later on. We're just going to kind of build, solve problems as we go, create new problems for ourselves, no doubt, try to get ahead of them, obviously, if we can, and then try to make a nice looking, organic, realistic sort of looking town. That's my goal anyway. And have fun, and also incorporate your guys' ideas too. All right. Ooh, what's going on here? People are dumping all their crops into the new storage bay, the small barn. Should read maybe what the differences are between the small barn and the regular one. So, upkeep is $16 a week. A barn building used for storing farm industry raw materials. Its capacity is 400,000, whereas a regular silo is only 300,000. Upkeep is 8 per week. So for well, for double the upkeep and for double the space, we're only getting 100,000 more. The electricity is only a little bit extra though, so I see what they're doing. The electricity and water isn't as big a jump as it would be just doubling it. So there's going to be 6, and it has 6 freight trucks available as opposed to, oh no, this one had 6 too. Interesting. Yeah, this is kind of temporary. These won't really be here in future. It'll just be these regular farms which don't require nearly as much vehicles in the future. That's good. I like seeing what they're doing. They're just delivering things and then they kind of evaporate once they've brought everything away. The Industries DLC is really strange because of that, the way cars just disappear in front of you. Oh no, we're actually losing money. Is that because we just imported a lot? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, again, I might just get rid of these then. And we'll just go with regular farms now. So let's do that. Because I think they're importing to sustain those different things. We just don't really need that anymore. Small crop fields. Alright. So, for the small crop field, our production rate is 2,400 units per week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're almost at 20. So it's like 24,000. It's about 30,000 or something, roughly, just to be very, very quick. Something like about 34,000 or 30,000 units in total. I would like more breakdowns about this. It does say 25 tons there. We acquired 69 tons. 9 tons are consumed here and 2 tons there. That's why I'm confused. Like, why are we acquiring anything if the consumption rate is so low? Like, we're obviously producing more than enough, so it's a bit confusing to me. But I think it might have been because we had the set to balance and they just wanted to fill it up to 50%. Once it's over 50, I think they never acquire any more. They'll just put more into it themselves. I think so. It's kind of a tough one to understand, I feel like. At least for me. Traffic seems great, though. Loving this roundabout. While we're here, actually, just for a little bit of landscaping fun. Hey, money is now 3,600. It's just all over the place. Content creator. Yeah, vegetation. A nice big thing in the center would be nice. Alright, and then maybe just a few trees. Some smaller ones I think would make a bit more sense. Actually, I know what to do. We'll grab a kind of a selection of trees. Alright, we'll just copy that. Nice, looks good. Looks really nice. The trucks are kind of like going up on 2 wheels there as they go around. Maybe the speed's a little too high for those tractors and trailers. Yeah, they're going up on 2 wheels. What's up with that? That's funny. It's like, whoa, the turn, man. Alright, there we go. Total profit. Yeah, I like seeing this being nice and full. Filling up nicely. Animal products filling up. So I think what we'll need... We want to get that bakery in. I need 20,000 in order to do so. So I might just speed up time until we get that money and we'll put the bakery in. But also, there's other things like the milking parlor. I suppose that would make sense more for the bakery than anything. Sorry if you can hear, by the way, in the background there's an ice cream truck outside my window. Yeah, we're looking good. So ultimately we need to build all the way up to another 200 workers here. There's 139 currently. Yeah, cool. Looking good. Yeah, I'm not really too sure what to focus on next then. So we have our new residences appearing here. They're looking good. I guess expansion is next on the cards. Just building out a road out this way and maybe out this way and figuring out where we go from there. Alrighty, so I just had a really weird glitch happen where the road just completely spasmed, probably due to one of the mods or something. It was like connecting this road all the way over to here. I have no idea why. It's like maybe I had a node selected there when I was drawing the road or something, but I wasn't even touching this area, so I'm not too sure how that happened. But clearly, I was able to delete it and then it just kind of reset, but it created like a road barrier that was like 1 pixel wide across here, which created this swell in the water, I guess. That's just recorrecting itself now, but no damage was done, it seems. So we've expanded out this area just a little bit, and we'll just pave in or zone in a few extra houses now for people to move in. Alright. Should be pretty straightforward. And we should see our population grow just a little bit. I forgot to look, by the way, and show people what's next. Busy town, 5,500. So we need 2,000 more population. We get more city planning policies, oil specialization. We just got ore specialization, actually. And then all these different policies. Something I haven't done at all, actually, is district, or create districts out of these various towns. So, for instance, we could go and make this a town unto itself, or a district, I should say, unto itself. Right, so this would be like one district out here, and then we can set rules for them to live by. Rules to live by. So they're looking fine, and then maybe do the same out this way. And you can give them names and stuff. So if people have ideas for names of sub-areas, let me know. So I don't really have any. It was cool using some of the names we used from Anno. My Anno playthrough, like Swords and Crown Farms. But I won't be naming any of the districts after like towns that were in that game anymore, because Swords is its own town, if that makes sense. Alright, so we have Garland. Obviously, default gives us a name. This is like an industrial park, which we could actually give some rules to, I think, as well, if we wanted to. And then we have the commercial district down here. Franklin Heights. So you can click that, check policies, and then see all these different things you could give people here. Probably needs... Well,
maybe look at other ones first. Let's do residential policies first. So the Belmont district. Belmont's actually kind of a cool name. So high ticket prices, that's for like parks and things. Recreational use is what I like to go with. Reduce crime rate slightly, increases police budget by 15%. Slightly increased tax income. Obviously go with recreational use. And if you don't agree with that, you're a heathen. Yeah, recycling could be other things. So slightly reduced garbage accumulation, but reduced tax income as well. Oh my god, look how much money we're making. Nearly 7,000. Extra insulation, schools out. So this is the one where you can toggle if you don't want people to get an education. They'll just kind of stay uneducated in a certain area, or prefer to stay that way and then go to work directly at a younger age. Recycling plastic, preferring to go to parks, free Wi-Fi, all that kind of cool stuff. So we'll just let these two places, we'll legalize it in both of these places. Franklin Heights, I'm not really too sure what policies, I never really used policies much, I must admit, when I played the game before. So I'll look through some of these a bit more and see, like, is there anything specifically for, I guess, like, commercial policies? Like, there's taxation and city planning policies that we get later, so we can have a look at those ones. But at the moment, it's just nice to have these names. But we could talk to them if people don't like the floating names as well, maybe. We certainly need to give them our own... Actually, it would be nice if I could toggle it with a hotkey or something. But we need to give them our own flair. You know, they're just kind of default names for now. Alright, how we doing? We're up to 13,000. We're making 8,000 per week now, weekly income. So that is really good. Very happy with that. We've turned things around greatly. Unemployment just at 5%. That's right where you want it. Just keep people on their toes, just a little bit. How are we looking for traffic? Yeah, looking smooth. Latest news, rocket packs tested in controlled environment. Hit a wall a few times, but otherwise it was great. The Washington District. Washington Industries. Yeah, this is nice. Everything's working pretty well. I gotta say, I'm proud of myself. I thought we'd have a lot more problems. Although, you know, without you guys, I would have made much more obvious and grave mistakes, like leaving roads backwards, for instance, for a very long time before I realized what was happening. Maybe we could fix this up. Looks a little bit better that way. Ah, I just remembered. These guys are obviously going to need their water. Alright, cool. We'll speed time up during the night and just keep an eye on what's happening. So maybe we could check crime. Crime 4%, that's not too bad. Noise pollution. Just the two industries, and we have our coal power plant over there, obviously. Franklin Heights, the commercial zone, is causing a bit of noise, and I suppose the increased traffic is kind of bringing some of that noise into some of the suburban neighborhoods there. Still no public transport, of course. Fire safety. Ooh, 53% is a hazard, or 53% safe, I guess, so 47% hazardous. Yeah, I guess just having this one here, just maybe not enough, so we'll have to start developing out this way. I think maybe along here, or I think maybe we'll create this as a bigger, yeah, maybe here. I've been saying that before, but maybe this would be a nice big grid area, and we can build new commercial zones in here. We haven't had a need for commerce at all. It's very strange how low the demand for commerce is. It's taken quite a long time just to fill up these areas. We have our burger joint and then some weird looking building that's popped up, which also is advertising burgers. M&H clothing store next to the high school. It's kind of strange, not gonna lie. Maybe we should put in our own custom building there. Car parks are full. Shopping districts down here, I'm sure, are busy. Lots of students will be walking around this area. Just noticed something that I don't really think is necessary. Be traffic lights down here. Let's just get rid of that. Let people find their own way. I feel like you don't need traffic lights unless you've got really packed roads, and then if you just want to keep things kind of flowing, it's like for sorting traffic and dividing it up. I don't think it ever solves traffic issues. It kind of just gives it a rule set to follow. Alright, we're nearly up to 20,000. The money's fallen way back down. But it is the morning. 144 workers now out of 193. We've made more than enough resources to get us to the next tier. We just need more workers, but that's fine. We just need more buildings, but it's going to take a while to get there. So let's have a look. Unique factories, bakery, 20,000. Let's slam it down. This area is actually kind of busy for traffic. The cake is not a lie. Hashtag bakery, colossal cakes, happy cake, and happy life. Go nuts, donuts. Now, we can't move that any further, could we? Maybe. Just shift it over a little bit. Maybe paint some of the terrain here. There we go. And then if we just increase that size now. Yeah, it actually divides the path because it thinks it's like a separate material to the path, which is a shame. Well, we could put a little fence in or something. I don't know. Ah, they don't have any power. Whoops, my bad. But we keep an eye on this now. I'm actually excited to see how the goods get delivered here. How many jobs does it require, actually? So they need animal products, crops, and flour. Let's bring that production rate way down. We'll call it 50% and just see how we get started with that. I wonder actually, oh, I know how we can, one way we can kind of check. You can check the traffic that's coming in here. There we go. First thing's delivered. Oh, nice. It's actually great that you can just do that. I forgot you could do that. Another truck's coming in now. So that's the delivered crops. So 2 big crop deliveries. The next one we're going to be waiting on is animal products and flour. But there's no one driving it here, so probably not going to happen anytime soon. There's a new truck on its way, actually. So let's follow this one. Delivering animal products to the bakery. And we'll need a name for that bakery. Livestock truck. So because they don't have a direct access into there, they have to go in and around. But that was the design. I'm relatively okay with that unless we create a mini bypass that leads in there. The fact that the camera just did a big flip means that there is definitely something going on with that roundabout. Oh my god, be careful guys. People are just walking through the cars. I guess they're walking to work. Interesting. Alright, and there's going to be our animal products coming in next. Boom. Alright, last thing would be flowers. So we'll just click this and keep an eye on it and see. We are producing flour, so I guess the next batch that gets made, it'll probably get sent out. So in tracking things for a little bit, it seems like we're actually making great money. We're selling a lot of the flour for 2,400 at the moment. We're selling animal products for 2,400 as well. That's generating us a good amount of income. Obviously, it kind of fluctuates, but still. But it means that it's not really going into here just yet. I'm not too sure why. It'll probably just take a few cycles before it allocates it to go into a bakery rather than to be exported. So it does seem to be taking a while to do that. But I think what would also encourage it is if we just had a warehouse where we were stockpiling flour, animal products, and crops. Well, actually, crops are already being stored in the barns, so that they're fine. But a warehouse for the other two. Then they would just go and fill that up, and then that would have its own trucks that would handle the logistics for sending things out over to the bakery. I don't know if we should put it by the bakery or put it by the farm. I think by the farm probably makes more sense. But you guys can let me know on that one as well. Alright, that's going to have to be it for this episode. 3,600 in the population. Money is good. Just need to let a little bit of time pass so we can build up a little bit more. And yeah, then soon after, once this place starts building up, I think in the next episode we're going to do a much bigger expansion out this way and start building up power and water and everything that comes along with that, trying to develop an eco solution to the pollution that we've created. Then we can maybe set up public transport because the place is going to be big enough that I think it would be warranted. So yeah, so let me know. Basically whatever you want to see, suggestions, things you think I could be doing to improve, or mistakes I've made. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.